Hey guys, it's Bill from Linden, Tennessee. I got a bit done on the Volkswagen this weekend. Saturday, guy I met on one of the Facebook Volkswagen groups. He came by. We exchanged my diesel engine. He brought me a pair of doors that don't have rust all over everywhere. And that's pretty good. So now I can avoid having to deal with that. I just have to switch over these little triangle windows. I'm not exactly sure what's involved with doing that. They had to come out anyway because if I was going to paint the doors. But also, I went in here with some 120 grit paper and scuffed down all the paint. I'd cleaned it. I'd already cleaned it with some soapy water, but I scuffed down all the paint and, kind of went down to bare metal where there was any rust. There really wasn't any. This is kind of a miracle. These usually rust out really bad. There's recently been some videos where like just that entire section is just gone. And like they have to, like one guy, he even went so far as he took this whole front end. He took this whole front end off and found one for a Rabbit, just a Volkswagen Rabbit, and put it on there. And another guy even put a custom frame in there because he did a LS V8 swap. Pretty awesome. And yeah, but I got lucky, so I didn't have to do any of that stuff. Just put one coat of this underbody stuff on. It's going to be good enough. All this is going to be covered anyway. You'll never see it. The other thing I got working on is the battery boxes. The small one is the rear. It's going to have 36 of these little cells in it. And I took the outside dimension of 36 of these and made that the inside dimension of this little box. It's made out of 3/4 inch 1/8 inch wall tubing and welded it together, made the top and the bottom. And then I got some of this foam board, rigid foam board, 3/4 inch, and cut a little piece out of that, put it in the bottom of there, and that's going to line these batteries on all the sides of this box. The main purpose of that is so during the winter, when it's like really cold outside, so I don't have any of these cells directly touching anything that is directly touching outside. So if it's really cold outside, and that cell there was up against the sheet metal, that outer sheet metal is going to be very, very cold, and that cell may never get a chance to warm up internally. So when I go to charge it, I could damage it. So if I've got just this simple insulation, that should prevent that from happening, and that's going to be great. So I've got all the dimensions of that front battery box as well, but I need to increase the inside dimensions by about a 1/16 or maybe even an 1/8, just to give me some breathing room. I can always shim it tighter, but I can't remove material if it's too tight. And this one was damn near too tight. The other thing I did, let me get my light here. Hold on. Oops. The other thing I did, I went underneath here. I went ahead and installed the DD-on tube. I just got kind of bolted down to the bolted where it goes. And I also got the drive unit, lifted it up on a adjustable Harbor Freight transmission jack. It's not very good. You really do get what you pay for, but it works good enough. And I've got it sort of where I think it needs to be. I'm not 100% sure on how to get this thing dead accurate for being centered, and up and down I'm not too worried about. If the front is too high or too low, I'm not too worried about that. Getting it level horizontally, sort of this way, will be easy because I'm going to have an adjustable link on the driver's side, so the far side as we're looking at it. But getting it pointing straight, that's going to be a thing. I'm not sure really exactly how to do that, and to make sure that it is just dead centered of the truck. I don't really know how to do that, so I'm going to be calling out to some friends who have done this before and see if they can't give me some advice. The other thing is, I'm going to put you on pause again. The other reason I did this is, so this is that top piece that we were just looking at for the battery box. I wanted to put this up here and see where in the world it's going to go. I had thought originally that I was just going to have it flush up against that firewall. That's sort of the front part of the bottom of the bed here. But then I saw that these little stiffeners are like really, really great distance apart, so that I can squeeze this thing up nice and tight against that. I won't have it all the way to the top, because if I ever had anything heavy drop in there or something, I wouldn't want it to possibly puncture the bed and then puncture the battery box either. But if you remember from when I had this thing sitting on the floor with the batteries under it, there's going to be quite a bit of room between the top of the cells and the top of the where the sheet metal is going to be. Oh, my arm is killing me. Hold on. Oh, all right, sorry. Yeah, so there's going to be quite a room, and I'm going to have all that foam in there. So if something did puncture, and it did have to puncture it pretty badly, but just to avoid that problem. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I'm going to have clearance between that and the front of the DD on. There'd be plenty of room. And the cool thing, super cool thing is, if I put that right there, I've got all this room on this forward bulkhead that I can put like junction boxes, possibly a DC-DC converter, just, anything really. The high voltage junction box is always an issue when you're doing a conversion, and finding room for it and everything is really kind of a thing. But I've got plenty of room here. This is going to be kind of a really cool location for it. I may not put the DC-DC back here because, if I'm driving through rain or something, this is going to be, there's mist and dust and dirt everywhere back here. Or if I keep it under the hood, then it'll be sort of protected. I don't know. But I would like to have all the high voltage stuff back here because, so I'm going to have one battery box in the front, this one here in the back, and obviously they have to have high voltage connections between them. If I had my high voltage box in the front, then that means that the battery cables from this rear box would have to go all the way to the front, and then the output of the junction box to the motor would have to come all the way back, and I'd have to route all that around everywhere. But if I got if I've got the junction box back here, then all I have to do is run one set of high voltage cables from the front to it, and then everything else will go to the back. My charger is going to be back here somewhere, hanging off the bottom of the bed. And yeah, everything's gonna be back here. All my cooling, I've got cooling. I'll have cooling for my charger, and then for the drive unit, I want to make some noise here. Hold on. Yeah, I've got cooling for the charger and the drive unit. And I think what I'm going to try and do is possibly mount the radiator up against the bed in like a 45-degree angle or something. If this is indeed where the drive unit goes, then I may have room to do it sort of right there directly above it, or I've got plenty of room in the back of it as well. So I've got some options, and I will explore them all. But yeah, pretty cool. Pretty happy with how my day went. Here, I also did some other stuff with the little tractor if you're interested. I'll clip that little short video in right here. Yep, I did some. Hey guys, it's Bill from Linden, Tennessee. I wanted to show you what I'm doing on my Sunday. Doing a little fire. This is all the spiky, thorny death trees that I cut down a couple months ago. And I'm also dragging some stuff out of the woods. Try and clear that up and possibly mow it this year. Make it look park-like. Alright. Did some burning and did some brush clearing with that little front mounted mower, and later, after I took that video, did something really dumb. I put my plow on the front of it, my blade, and used it to kind of consolidate that fire together. That was a really, really dumb idea. I got away with it, but I won't ever do it again. So many things could have gone wrong, like maybe the reverse switch would have stopped working, or the the accelerator got stuck, or so. I mean, it could have burnt the whole damn thing down. So that was really dumb. I won't do that again. But anyway, this is Volkswagens, not tractors. Yep, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take dimensions and find out what the little legs that go from the bottom to the top, what those are. I think it's 9 inches, so I'll make 4 of them and complete that box out, and yeah, and then paint it and possibly stuff the cells in there and figure out how I'm gonna get the power out of it. This is what I used on the Jeep on some of the boxes, but also on some of the boxes I just use regular old gland nuts, and I may do that too. But I'm gonna have a BMS. I'm gonna have BMS inside there. I don't know if it's just gonna be wires or if it's gonna actually be the BMS modules. We'll figure that out later. I don't even have the BMS yet. It's kind of expensive, and I'm kind of broke right now. We just bought a car. Anyway, I think that's it. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually throw the front suspension on there. I don't see any reason why not to have it. I've already got it cleaned up and painted. I'll need to clean up and paint the calipers red, of course. I think I'm going to go ahead and put the front suspension on, and that way I can sort of see where this thing where the ride height is. I suspect that the back might be a little bit too stiff. I've got that add a leaf in there, but I may end up needing to take that out. But I don't know. There's going to be 200 pounds worth of battery and 200 pounds worth of motor hanging off of that bed, so that's going to squat that down quite a bit. And I need, really, before I can find the final position of the drive unit, I need to know where sort of the ride height is, and if it's, because that'll determine how high I mount the drive unit. Thinking out loud. Hope you're following along. There will be a test. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.